Welcome, Devils fans. Today I have a special treat for you. Goes back to the 2003 Stanley Cup Finals, the road to the Stanley Cup that year, and more. I'm gonna do a video version of this today, but this also goes for the normal audio crowd, as some of you listen through Spotify or whatnot, but you can also watch because I am specifically going to be showing some items here. It is a little dark in here, but it's the best I can do regarding lighting, so who the fuck cares? Let's get into it. So the Devils won the Stanley Cup in 2003. Now, let's first get something out of the way. Stéphane Richer, 1995 Devils Stanley Cup champion. Let me change this background music to just be regular background music. Stéphane Richer, Devils legend, Canadiens legend. Do you remember in 2002 when the Devils made a little trade for like a 7th round pick and they brought Stéphane Richer back for 10 games? Did you know that? He retired as a New Jersey Devil? A lot of people don't know that. And I'd like to just share that bit of beautiful Stéphane Richer lore with everyone. So, I don't know why I have this media guy, but it's part of what's going on here today is because we don't have these things anymore and we want them. Please check out my interview with Don LaGreca. He talks about it too, how we really miss, for instance, center ice magazines. Eastern Conference quarterfinals, Devils vs. Hurricanes, Sunday, April 21st, 2002. Now, I believe this is the date that we were made aware on the radio on the way in from Long Island to New Jersey. My whole family heard that Lane Staley from Alice in Chains had passed away, although he had been dead for 2 weeks at the time. I think this was the day that it was announced, and we heard it on the radio on the way to this game. So, I wanted to bring this one out there. This is just from the season before, but let's go into a very special one. Let's see which one I'm going to pick up first. Alright, during the season, we have New Jersey Devils versus Montreal Canadiens. This is 2003, January 7th, Tuesday, January 7th, 2003. Scott Stevens was on the cover of many magazines, but let me read some things out of the magazine, out of the center ice. First of all, of course, they give you a whole Devils lineup of the staff, the players, which I always loved, and they also tell you, these magazines would tell you like the staff in the NHL, and they had some cool little like ads that are promoted but through hockey. Pat Burns doing what he does best. That's what I'm going to read out of this one. So we're going to start with I might be going backwards in this season, but I won't when we get to the playoffs. Alright, so Pat Burns doing what he does best. This seems to start from another page, so I'm just going to start from the middle. It's got a picture of Oleg Tverdovsky. It's a different team, Pat Burns said. It's important we have that feeling. Oh, Lou Lamoriello said. It's important that we have that feeling. Lou Lamoriello has made some moves, some good moves. I like these 6 to 8 defensemen that we have, and this is Pat Burns talking, that we have, and their different styles on defense. We have some experienced, strong guys, some gladiator-type defensemen way back there, some guys that can move the puck, and some guys that can shoot it. I think the addition of Tverdovsky is important. I look around the league, and we have 6 to 8 defensemen on this club that a lot of teams would envy. Now, you gotta go back to Mike Commodore. Mike Commodore made his debut with the Devils in between their 2000 and their 2003 Stanley Cup. And when Mike Commodore came in, the Devils had just won the Stanley Cup, and what he said was, I just walked into the best defensive core that ever existed. He said, right there was Scott Stevens, Ken Danico, who else but Colin White, Brian Rafalski, and Scott Niedermayer. To be the sixth man out of those five guys is an honor, and my Commodore took it that way. What a great guy. What a great guy. So, through nearly every drill, Burns' voice can be heard calling out instructions above the whoosh of skate blades cutting through the ice. Sometimes he raises it to stress his point. People say, "You yell." But if I don't talk loud or yell, who's gonna hear me? Burns said. Rest in peace, by the way. People say he's not mad, he's yelling. I'm not mad. If I don't talk loud, how are they gonna hear my commands? I can't blow the whistle and stop. I don't like stopping practice all the time and saying, "Well, guys, you shouldn't be doing this." You've got to let them know. You just talk louder. There's a difference between being mad and being understood. Pat Burns is a legend. So that's just a little snippet of what we get out of this Center Ice magazine from Tuesday, January 7th, 2003, on the way to the Stanley Cup. Now, I've shown you the 2002 one. Now, this one is going to be Friday, May 2nd, 2003. So, with Brodeur on the cover. Now, this one I have, for some reason, I have the actual news release inside of it. I don't know why the other ones don't have it. I am a collector of sorts. Now, they would literally give you printed out paper that came out of a printer, just a regular printer, with every player from both teams, their lineup, their scratches, their general manager, their coach, their everything. This is obviously for Tampa Bay Lightning, where they had Mark Bergevin, LeCavalier, Andrew Tdyk was the captain, Frederick Modine was the other captain, Brad Lukowich was on this team, Vaclav Prospel, Brad Richards, Fedotenko. If you remember Alexander Svitov, he was on that team. Ben Clymer, Dan Boyle, Corey Sarich. Let's see. Oh, Nikolai Habibulin was their goalie. And then it goes into just some, basically like an article about tonight's game. And then it'll show you goals by period, power play, and playoff statistics for both teams so far in the season. I don't know why it says playoff statistics. Oh, it just shows you random playoffs. I don't know why there's this might be. I don't know. But anyway, so Friday, May 2nd, 2003. Let's see what we can find in here. Now we have this cool page here, which says how they were built. Ken Danico is literally the number one on the top of the list, as he deserves to be. Brodeur, Breland, Pandolfo, Eliash, White, Yuri Bisek, Gomez, Berglund, Chianto. Oh, it goes on and on and on. All right. The national anthems. They had both the Canadian and American national anthems, so you could read along with them if you didn't know them. That is actually pretty cool. I never noticed that because I didn't have any reason. Now, for you younger hockey fans out there, this is how most of us wanted to see our hockey. The Atlantic Division in the Eastern Conference, featuring our New Jersey Devils, the Islanders, the Rangers, the Flyers, the Penguins. Boom, that's it. Devils have 9 Atlantic Division championships. Northeast Division, Boston, Buffalo, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto. Boom, 5 teams. Southeast, Atlanta, Carolina, Florida, Tampa Bay, Washington. It sounds like back in the day, oh, that's real weak, right? But now you got Atlanta's not there anymore, so let's take them out of there. But you got Carolina, Tampa Bay, Florida, and Washington, 4 top teams in the league. All right, Western Conference, the Central, Chicago, Columbus, Detroit, Nashville, St. Louis. Now they moved Detroit and Columbus over to the East. Northwest, Calgary, Colorado, Edmonton, Minnesota, Vancouver, and Pacific, Anaheim, Dallas, Los Angeles, Phoenix at the time, and San Jose. Very cool to see. Your own scorekeeping card right here comes inside of it, of course. I believe these were $10. This was $6. It went up to 10 at some point. Devils in the Community. This is just a great magazine that that is better than the internet and better than social media because everything's in the book. So you can go page. You're not gonna miss anything. You're not gonna skip anything. You go if you go page by page, and like charities, they show all the different players of the year for the New Jersey hockey and charities that the Devils have worked for and this, that, and the other thing. All in New Jersey, they would show you rinks for recreation for all like kids who wanted to go skate or learn how to play hockey. Rinks for recreation were in these magazines. They would show you that. So how about I read this? The New Jersey Devil name and legend. That's what this is, okay? It says here, after it was announced in May of 1982 that the Colorado Rockies franchise was moving on to New Jersey, several state newspapers ran a contest asking readers for their nickname suggestions. Close to 10,000 ballots were cast, and on June 30th, 1982, team officials declared that Devils was the overwhelming winner, and it should have been. It beat out such possible monikers as Blades, Meadowlanders, oh my god, Colonials, Americans, not bad, and Meadowlands. Meadowlarks. Imagine being the New Jersey Meadowlarks. Among the definition of the word devil as offered by Webster's dictionary include a person of notable energy, recklessness, and dashing spirit. That's the Webster's dictionary definition, and I know that because I've seen it in Webster, so it is true that they're not lying here. Which may also describe the New Jersey Devils hockey team. So why Devils? Said Devils founder, Dr. John McMullen at the time, it's a great nickname because it combines the folklore of South Jersey with the Meadowlands. For those unfamiliar with the legend, the New Jersey Devil dates back to some 250 years ago. While there are many variations to the story, it most frequently begins with Mrs. Leeds, a farm woman from the Pine Barrens region of South Jersey. Already the mother of 12 children, when Miss Leeds found out the 13th was on the way, number 13, she apparently exclaimed in despair, "Let it be a devil!" In addition to being a busy mother, it should be noted that Mrs. Leeds was rumored to have dabbled in sorcery, and many thought her to be a witch. On the night of the delivery in 1735, fierce thunderstorms hit the area and an air of uneasiness surrounded her house. When she finally gave birth, the offspring was a demonic creature that had alternately been reported to have had the features of a bat, snake, kangaroo, as well as a man. Kangaroo? I can't do an Australian accent. I'm going to need Damien for that. In any case, the creature quickly flew out an open window and immediately began cutting a wide swath of havoc and destruction throughout the state ever since. The legend has been fueled throughout the years by alleged sightings. The devil has been the object of numerous hunts and other pursuits, none of which have been apparently successful. It is because of the sightings like these that the residents of the Pine Barrens believe that the devil is alive. Not one of the aforementioned sightings, however, has occurred at the Meadowlands. Nonetheless, knowing this legend may cause Devils fans to think a bit differently the next time they watch a game and see the puck take an inexplicable bounce into the opposition's net, or see an opponent mysteriously lose his feet on open ice. Give credit to the New Jersey Devil. Credit the assist to the New Jersey Devil. Oh, it says that right there. A person of notable energy, recklessness, and dashing spirit. I love that. I love that. So let me put that away because we're gonna go into the Stanley Cup and beyond, and I don't want to go too long here, but this is the Stanley Cup 2003 Stanley Cup playoffs program. The Devils version, of course, center ice. Obviously, the Ducks had a different one, which I had because I did make that travel. The travel for those games. I am going to show you a Ducks Digest. I believe it's called Ducks Digest. Mighty Ducks Digest, because that was their name at the time. So, first of all, it's got a lot of the same stuff. This is what I really love. You got right here, Lou Lamoriello, Pat Burns, Bob Carpenter, John McClain, and Jacques Caron, all in one photo. Right here on this page, which I'm going to take a picture of and post up on X or Twitter in a few. For some reason, you'll see like the normal, like I have one of these like cardboard, roster pictures, but then they also like put each player into their own little shmagegi in the on their own pages. There's a determination, desire, and drive with Dave Andrew, Joe Tdyk, who of course missed the finals. Look at this: Langenbrunner, Rupp, Christian Berglund, and Sergey Brylin, all on one page. All on one page. Number 20, Tim Peel. Shout out to my man Tim. Jim McKenzie, Jay Pandolfo, Pascal Rayom, underrated brother of female goalies for the Tampa Bay Lightning's Manon Rayom. Pascal Rayom did so much in that 2003 final series, and you can't give Grant Marshall and Jeff Friesen, another legendary Lou coming up soon. You can't give any of them enough credit. Elias, Niedermeyer, Stevenson, and Nieuwendyk. On this page here, there's nothing much to say here. The Devils won the Stanley Cup. We all know that. That's why we want to get to the commemorative Stanley Cup banner raising celebration center ice, the 2003-2004 official game magazine. So this is from opening day at the Devils Arena. Opening day at Continental Airlines Arena. And it goes on with the story about the tradition continues. The arrival of new faces and departure of old ones have been nearly constant, but so has the winning. That's a good comment. They, in this one specifically, they do Devils by number, where they give you every player, every number, and every Devils player that has worn that number. They show a lot of different. Oh, look, the what is this? The Evolution, the Nike Quest V12 skate. An ad for the Nike Quest V12 skate. Did any of you ever wear that skate? You could color in Colin White. There is a Colin White coloring book inside of here. I wish they made a whole coloring book of all the players. I wish they did. Anyway, so that's the banner raising, and then after that, I took a trip. Hey, why not? Took a trip out to the West Coast. Got the Ducks Digest. I got a bookmark here. No Cinderella Story. You're gonna see a picture here of Peter Sikora scoring against the Devils in the finals. There, that's former Devil Peter Sikora, who was traded for Jeff Friesen, and I think Oleg Tverdovsky, of course, came to the Devils along with Jeff Friesen. They got Peter Sikora. They also had Sergei Fedorov in this game. So it is a good picture, but they did not have a Cinderella story that they were supposed to have. Now I'm going to open it up, and it says, Opponent Information, New Jersey Devils. So I'm going to read that off to you. Tonight, New Jersey captain Scott Stevens. Now, I don't know if you guys know this. These are... Devil's Joint brings you facts and trivia and history, right? This is a good one. Tonight, which is November 26, 2003, New Jersey captain Scott Stevens will become the NHL's all-time leader for regular season games played by a defenseman, passing Ray Bourque, who had 1,612 at the time on the all-time list last week. Stevens tied Larry Murphy's mark of 1,615 games played last night against the Kings, which I was at that game as well. It was a 4-0 shutout. Heading into their contest with the Kings, the Devils were undefeated in their previous 11 games. 9 victories, 2 ties. Yeah, they still had ties, and this game ended up in a tie. Sergei Fedorov scored with like 4 seconds left and tied it, and they didn't win and score in overtime. The longest streak in the NHL this season. New Jersey won just 2 of its first 7 games to open the season. The defending Stanley Cup champs, the New Jersey drowned the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim in 7 games to win the title. Didn't say drowned, it says downed. Devils goaltender Martin Brodeur led the NHL with 41 victories last season, earning the Vezina Trophy as the league's top goalie. Center Patrick Elias was leading the Devils with 5 goals, 11 assists, 16 points into last night's game after pacing, which was against the Kings 4-0, after pacing New Jersey with 28 goals, 29 assists, and 57 points the season before. So Scott Stevens on this night became the all-time leader in defensemen and games played. And this is the Mighty Ducks digest from that game. I didn't even know that was from a special game, and I'm really into stats. You guys, if you follow the Devils account channel, if you follow Devil's Joint, you know that. So anyway, it's been a pleasure. And I will talk to you guys soon. Let's get a little bit of a little Doc and Chico.